In this video, we're going to look at how structure and function are related. In other words, structure, the way thing is made, and function, what it does. So a lot of times you're faced with a puzzle and you're wondering, what could I do, or what kind of tool could I use to get that job done? So you build a tool that kind of meets the need of the job that you have to do. So you want to pound a nail in, so you build a tool like a hammer to get that job done. So the structure of the hammer is going to be related to its job, in this case, pounding in the nail. And we see that all through the levels of organization. And so that's what we're going to focus on in this video, the levels of organization and how the structures at that level are related to the function at that level. So here's an example. You have an organism like this zebra, and you'll notice that it has all kinds of amazing structures, and each has a job to do. Like the ears have a job to do, the striped pattern, the strong teeth help that zebra eat its food. The sharp hooves are helpful. Each structure at this level has a function that it does. What about the system level then? Because organisms are made of systems. So here we have the nervous system. It consists of structures like the brain and the spinal cord. What does it do? Well, the nervous system recognizes and coordinates your responses. So in life, you go through this changing environment. You need to take all that stimuli in and then do something about it. Well, that's your nervous system. Your nervous system has these structures like your brain and spinal cord and peripheral nerves that cover your body in order to do the function, the job of sensing things and then reacting to it. If we take an organ like your brain, we'll also notice that there's certain structures and functions, jobs that your brain does. So for example, we will notice that your brain has this kind of folded structure. Well, those folds allow the brain to store more information. You also might notice that the brain has different areas. There's different parts to the brain, and each of those parts has a little different job. Like the cerebellum is different than the cerebrum or the brainstem. Those different parts have different jobs. If we look at nervous tissue then, we'll notice that neurons, which are nerve cells, and neuroglial cells, which are support cells, they have different jobs, and they're built differently. So a neuron has like this long axon because it transmits information, whereas the glial cells are supportive cells. They help maintain that neuron, help protect it and support it. If we look at the nerve cell specifically, we'll notice that it has structure and function, that it's built a certain way and it has jobs that it does. So in this case, the nerve cell has a very long axon to transmit information, but it also has dendrites to collect the information. So it needs to be able to collect information and then transmit that information. If you look deeper inside that nerve cell, we'll notice that it's made of organelles. And these organelles have much the same kind of role, structure and function. So for example, the microtubules that make the axon long allow the nerve then to transmit impulses over great distances. The mitochondria, though, are also necessary because they help generate ATP, and ATP is necessary in order for the nerve to do its function. It requires energy, so it needs to get that energy from somewhere. One of the things that neurons use energy for is active transport, pumping things out of the nerve cell, in this case sodium and potassium. But that pump is made of a molecule of protein. So protein has certain jobs, and this job is to pump sodium and potassium. But it requires energy that comes from ATP, that comes from a mitochondria. You also notice that the nerve cell has a membrane. That membrane is going to be made up of lipid molecules in this kind of double layer. Those molecules are made of atoms, like this carbon atom. One thing that's unique about carbon is it has 4 electrons in the outer energy level. That allows carbon, that structure of carbon, having 4 electrons in the outer energy level, allows it to have a very unique function. That is, it can be useful in building large, complicated molecules. Other atoms aren't good at building large, complicated molecules because they don't have the same number of electrons in that outer energy level available. So at every level of biological organization, from atoms up to organisms, we can see how the structure helps to influence or relates to the function, how the job is directly connected to the way the thing is built. So those two things, structure and function, structure anatomy, function physiology, are closely related.